Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you fresh out of the gym this morning and back home. Last night on SmackDown, we had a new match announced for SummerSlam 2015. The card is filling out pretty nice. Of course, you have Undertaker going up against Brock Lesnar in the main event. John Cena going up against Seth Rollins. You have a pretty good mid-card filling out. I think the last match that we need named is Randy Orton versus Sheamus. I don't think that one's been named yet, but you have the four-way, I guess it's a fatal four-way for the tag team titles. You've got the Divas 9-girl tag elimination match. You got the Steve Amell with Neville going up against Stardust and King Wade Barrett. And that should be just about everything that I can think of. Oh, the Ryback Miz Big Show Intercontinental Championship match. So Cesaro versus Kevin Owens is a fun match to add to the show. Honestly, in my mind, these are two guys that are really hungry. They're sitting in that mid-card position. I think a lot of people were sort of let down by WWE with the Kevin Owens push, of course, making his debut at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Following that up with, is it 2 or was it 3? He lost a lot of matches to John Cena on pay-per-view that were money. And they ended up not putting the United States Championship on Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens ended up losing the NXT title. I think that a lot of people knew that him losing the NXT title was going to be coming with him, joining the main roster. There's a little bit of, go back, but once somebody gets out of NXT, in my mind, they should be pushing forward to the main roster on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown and trying to find their spot there. Normally in the big leagues, you might get called up for the last month call-ups with getting called out of AAA and going to the major leagues when baseball expands the rosters. But normally, if you make the roster to start a season and, they send you back down to AAA, it's not, that great. It doesn't make you look good in your public image, being able to hold your spot on the main roster. Kevin Owens, in my mind, is a main player for WWE. He's a guy that honestly should have been there for a few years. He was able to show WWE that he did not need developmental. He didn't really need fine-tuning. It is what it is. People can knock Kevin Owens all they want for maybe his weight or his gut, but the guy can wrestle. It's one of the reasons why this guy was put on the earth. And you look over across the ring at Cesaro. Cesaro is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and he has been. I think he's been in WWE for 3 years, and every single time that we thought he was really finding a niche and being able to find a spot, whether if it was him going at the United States Championship, maybe him and Jack Swagger in the All-American Tag Team, him turning and becoming a Paul Heyman guy, there were spots that people really thought was going to be his spot to really fit in as Cesaro in WWE, and now here it is. He loses his tag team partner. Another thing that was going really well for him, Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, two guys that really weren't doing anything. They stuck them together, and it really became a bright spot in the tag team division. Tyson Kidd breaks his neck, and Cesaro is left in this limbo of what are we going to do? And here he is, he's sort of changed his gimmick. He's been coming out, dressed in a suit, looking like he's sort of James Bond, or I don't know if really that's what he's going after, maybe trying to be Jason Statham or something like that. But the guy has been money, wrestling matches on SmackDown and Raw. These are two guys, like I said, that are really hungry. They're really great wrestlers. They're two big guys. They're going to beat the crap out of each other. This is going to be really fun. You can definitely tell that WWE has bright lights for Kevin Owens in the foreseeable future. This weekend is basically built around Kevin Owens. I know that the Kevin Owens versus Cesaro isn't the main event. It's not even the co-main event. It's just a match. But honestly, it is a platform for these guys to put the best match of the night on. The one thing that I can really relate this to is if you go back to SummerSlam, I believe it's 2011. In the middle of that show, there's a Daniel Bryan versus Wade Barrett match. This is at the time when Daniel Bryan was carrying around the Money in the Bank briefcase. He really wasn't winning a lot of matches, and he didn't even win this match. But Barrett and Bryan made the most of the time they were given in the middle of that show and put on a great match. And it's one that I still remember. And when I watched SummerSlam 2011, which is probably one of the most watched pay-per-views for me, whenever I'm trying to debate over what I want to watch, that's always a show that I know is going to have a good, beginning, middle, and end, and keep me involved the whole time. I've probably watched that show at least a dozen times since 2011. But it was a great show to be at. But also, I think that's what I relate to the Cesaro versus Owens match. If you think about that three-way they had on Monday Night Raw, that was a real money match. And I know that Randy Orton's not going to be involved in this one. But just basically the storyline that was built off of that. These are guys that are hungry and they're looking for their chance. That's what this match is going to be made after. And so we're going to be able to see which one of these guys is able to go out there and grab the brass ring. We can all hope that Kevin Owens gets through the ladder match against Finn Balor at the NXT special the night before and is 100% for this one, because this is one that I'm really looking forward to. Cesaro versus Kevin Owens. I want to say Kevin Owens, because I don't want to see him lose both matches, and I don't think he's going to win the NXT title at TakeOver. But I think at this point it doesn't really matter if Owens wins or loses the match. You can tell that WWE's got a spot for this guy, and Cesaro is a guy that can really need a win right now. So I'll pick Cesaro.